I want to welcome you back to BLACKSITE, and tonight we're going to talk about Steve Harvey finally admit that his wife Marjorie dropped him when he became homeless. First, I would like for you to subscribe to this channel, hit that like button, hit that notification button, but also comment on this video. Steve Harvey admits that when he had tough times, he didn't have a lot of money, he became homeless. His future wife Marjorie kicked him to the curb. She canceled him. She told him, don't come back until you start making that money. Steve Harvey, who went through the trials and tribulations of a comedian. And if you heard plenty of comedians who said we was on the Chitlin circuit, you could talk about Monique, Kevin Hart, Mike Epps, so many others, where it took 10, 12, 15 years for you to become successful. But when Steve Harvey thought that the woman of his dreams would be with him for the rest of his life, he found out very quickly if he didn't have the money, she wouldn't stand. Remember, Marjorie was a woman who spent plenty of time with a high-profile drug dealer who ended up in jail. See, she loves the high lifestyle. And if you can't give it to her, she'll find it somewhere else. So Steve Harvey persisted in his career. He became extremely successful with shows on TV. You know the shows. And he started becoming a nine-figure man. A man who's making $10, $15 million a year. And all of a sudden, Marjorie is back in the show. But what this proves me, with all the books that Steve Harvey was writing, coping for women, that Steve Harvey was nothing but the king of the Simps. A man who was willing to take a woman back who said she didn't want you through the tough times. She only want the good times. She only want the champagne and caviar. She don't want the oodles and noodles. So Steve pressed on, and he became successful. Now she can live the lifestyle that she used to live when she had her dope man boyfriend who supplied her with everything she wants. This shows you the type of woman that Steve Harvey is married to. She's a shallow woman. See, she truly doesn't love Steve Harvey as a man. She loves him for what he can provide for. See, Steve Harvey was on that long chase. And you know what I'm talking about. Some of you men out there been chasing a woman for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Someone like Boyce Watkins, hoping one day in the future that she'll come to you. You don't care what time. If she, at the end of the road, she done hit the wall, you still want her, because that's the woman I always wanted. But Marjorie can't be trusted. If Steve Harvey is to get sick today and he couldn't provide the lifestyle, she would leave him. See, she's set up right now with all his money. And if you notice, she's got a daughter, Lori, who didn't keep her father's name. She took on Steve Harvey's name. And she has the same characteristics as her mother. If you don't have the money, I don't have the time. Steve Harvey has shown himself to be a simp. And I'm talking about king of the Simps. What Steve Harvey should have did when I became successful and got that 9 figures, I would have invited her out to dinner. We would have had some of the finest cuisine. And at the end of the night, I would say, your services are no longer needed. Goodbye. Because when you was down on your luck the most, and you was sleeping in your car, and you probably didn't know where your next meal was coming from, she was probably laying up with another man, giving him her special goods. But Steve Harvey was willing to take this woman back. And I don't know why. But I do know why. When you become obsessed with a woman, you can't see anything but what you see. Other people on the outside may tell you something, but you won't listen to them. This woman right here, if you talk about a gold digger, that's what she is. See, she got the best of both worlds right now. She got Steve Harvey, she got his status, she got his money, and even if he died today, she got it all. See, she played her game because that's the game she's always played, and she's taught her daughter extremely well. Michael B. Jordan better watch out, because a woman that's taught by her mother, who's a master manipulator of men. She's a Jezebel, a Delilah, a Eve, a woman who will do anything to get that money. And she's in firm control of Steve Harvey, because Steve Harvey is not in control of himself. Steve Harvey, for so many years, even when he had his talk show on, was writing all these books telling men how they should treat their queen. Well, his queen didn't treat him well when he was at the lowest of the lows in his life. His queen abandoned him when he needed her by his side, but he's telling us differently. Steve Harvey represents a bunch of men out here who think, if I have this woman, I have made it. But let me tell you something, Steve. You made it on your own. And you should be happy and proud of yourself. And you didn't need a woman to justify your success. See, Steve could have went out there and got any other young woman, older woman, and she probably would have treated him just as well. But this woman right here, she didn't deserve the luxuries that he could give her, for the simple fact that she didn't want you. She didn't want you when you was at your worst. She turned you down, and I can imagine the words that she said to you when she said, I don't want to see you no more. And that probably stuck in your mind, and you probably said, oh, I'm going to get her back. I'm going to show her that I'm going to be a success. But you fail to understand. When the books is open, she won, you lost. All she has to do is look good for you, and you feel happy and successful. But Steve, don't tell this to other young men. Don't tell them when they get treated this way that they should accept it. And they should keep fighting to get a woman who just dropped them like an apple on the ground. I do feel sorry for those sisters who are out here and who stood by their man. Sister that was married to what's his name? Kevin Hart, Tory, when he didn't have no money. All these other men and women who stood by their man. And at the end, when they got the money, they went and got the girl that they wanted, but the girl didn't want them back then. But now she willing to accept him because he can improve her lifestyle. He could give her all the bags and clothes that she want. But where was she when you was fighting and scraping to put food on the table, gas in your car? Steve Harvey was Simps. Let a man talk long enough and he'll tell you about himself. I want to thank you for listening to BLACKSITE. I hope you subscribe to this channel. Smash that like button, but also share this video.